They tell us that this is a conservative player because he has those chips stacked pretty neatly, except for the ones in front. Remember, those are his profit, and he may play more recklessly with them. Watch this man bet. Remember, a nondescript bet like this is seldom a bluff. There's no extra emphasis. He just slides those chips in. Let's see it again. Not a bluff, and don't you forget it. A gentle bet usually means strength. Always pay attention to the direction that your opponents aim their bets. If this man in the middle happens to have the stronger hand and this woman goes out of her way to bet into the other opponent, that is a suspicious bet and you should consider calling. Don't forget, when a player leans back, he's in very conservative mode. He's just waiting and waiting. He doesn't want to have to sit up to the table unless he has a really good hand, and this is a really good hand. Did you see him readjust? Always beware when you see this. Players who make strong hands often try to conceal them immediately, whereas players who make weak hands tend to stare at them for a long time. Here the player looks, puts it together, and covers it. This is usually an indication of a very strong hand. Always remember, when you're in a game and your opponent is involved in the pot and then decides to share his hand with someone who came up behind him, a wife or a girlfriend, that is never a bluff. It's always a substantial hand. He'd be embarrassed to show this hand if it were a bluff or a weak hand. Be very careful of calling this hand. And now we're revisiting the most dangerous looks in all of poker. Just memorize these people. They don't look at you, they're looking away, they're ready to pounce, acting as if they're going to throw cards away. Don't ever forget, this is a dangerous time to be betting. And don't forget, there are times when it's just perfectly safe to bet a medium strong hand. These are those times. Let's look at them once more. The players are either reaching for their chips or staring straight at you. They're trying to dare you not to bet. When you see that, it's safe to bet. Well, we've seen a lot of powerful tells so far today, but I wonder if there's any particular best way to use them. I've told you all day today about tells and how they can build your bankroll. What I haven't told you is that when you see a tell, there's another important secret. Here's a secret. When you see a tell, you want to wait, hesitate, and not act right away, because if you act right away, your opponent is sure going to know that you have picked up a tell on him. But if you wait and delay, he's going to be in the dark. You'll be able to use the tell again in the future. Now watch this.
Check.
Go ahead, brother. All right, I call you. Oh, really? God, I almost didn't call. I thought I didn't like the call, I'll tell you that. I really didn't. Whew. Yeah. Take that, money. See what just happened? I knew I had this player dead to rights because he fumbled his bet. We've talked about it earlier today. When a player fumbles his bet and then tries to correct it very suddenly, tries to make it look like he didn't fumble it, tries to neaten it up, well, what does that mean? That means he's bluffing. So I knew he was bluffing. I knew my pair of jacks was good. But I didn't act right away, did I? I waited and waited and waited because I don't want him to think that he had a tell. So I made him think he didn't. And now he's going to have the same tell again later, and I'm going to win another pot, just like this. When tells conflict, the player is acting. Determine what he's trying to make you do by his most blatant mannerism. Then generally do the opposite. Yeah, Silver, what did you learn? What did you learn? You're not going to let those people take your money, are you? No. You're not. No, you're not. You're not going to let them take your money. You're going to take their money. You're going to make a lot of money. Yes, you are. You're going to win the world championship. The best poker parrot in the whole world. Well, that almost wraps it up. I want you to remember that you should always be more willing to call a cheerful bet than a sad one. And that when a player is looking away like this, that's danger. But when a player is staring at you like this, you're safe. And finally, I want you to think about this. Now that you know all these tells, you can start playing more hands. You don't have to sit and wait, because now when you play hands, you're going to be looking for these tells. And when you see tells that tell you you're safe to bet, you're going to be able to bet. When they tell you you're safe to raise, you're going to be able to raise. And when they tell you to get the heck out of the pot, you're going to get the heck out of the pot. So I hope this has helped. See you at the tables.